This is a question that we grapple with all the time, actually. And often what the first sort of place that you tend to go is you start to think about individuals, and then you start to think about traits. And I think that's all very well. But actually, the conclusion I've come to over a period of time is that an inclusive leader can actually only thrive and exist within an inclusive organisation. So I'm tending to move away from talking about individual leaders.
An inclusive leader is somebody who recognises the need to be at the core human. And I think a truly inclusive leader is someone who balances both people and profit with the same amount of consideration for both.
Someone who is aware of the issues, aware of the barriers that exist, and is proactively seeking to solve them. And somebody that is truly committed to the D&I agenda.
A truly inclusive leader, I believe, is somebody who's able to empathise with their colleagues, who has the patience to listen, and has also got the confidence to be challenged as well. I think a combination of those three things equips somebody to get the best out of the people that work with them.
Oh, well, this, I think, for me, reflects on the changing role of a leader in an organisation. And I think we are moving quite rapidly from leader knows all and kind of command and control, cascade down, to active listening and then understanding what your ears are telling you or what you're hearing, and then taking action. And the action of the leader is to interpret that into meaningful action within their organisation. So having the confidence to listen and hear from others and then take action.
I think there are a few things that make a really inclusive leader. At the absolute base of it, it comes down to trust. Being able to develop trust in your teams and them to trust you. And I think for me, it also starts with curiosity. So you have to be curious about what motivates people. You have to be open and honest with them. And I think a truly inclusive leader really does go out of their way to gather views from a range of people in their team, but is also honest and transparent about having to make the decision, what they've taken into account and where they've arrived. To do that really effectively, people need to feel the ability to express their opinion, particularly expressing when they disagree. And they need to know that's safe, and you need to generate the type of environment to do that. When you do that well, you get a really good state of inclusion in a team.
It's someone who's able to inspire and inculcate ownership of equality, diversity, inclusion in the organisation, evolve a shared understanding of what those things are. They're completely different things, and we tend to lump them together. So a leader has to sort of be able to articulate those expectations, be able to live and breathe, equality and inclusive behaviours themselves, so it inspires this in others. Put in place appropriate systems of accountability and governance so that, when you do sort of set targets around issues, and this is not just around diversity, representational diversity targets, but really also about how you create inclusive organisations. So those accountability measures need to be different in addition to representational diversity.
So in my own experience and leaders that I've worked with, it's about people who are super authentic. They're a little bit humble. They're very compassionate. And the word that I would use is they're really kind. So that sets what I call the conditions for an inclusive leader. And then the other piece that sort of tags onto that is, but equally, they hold their teams and themselves to account around what outcomes that they want to drive around inclusive leadership.